Welcome back to the American Garage. In this episode, we're going to rebuild the truck engine. Now, you may be wondering, why are we rebuilding the truck engine? Well, you've seen the work that we've done on the truck in the past, and we did a couple other things that weren't in the videos. We replaced the fuel pump, we replaced some of the seals. You've seen me do some of these things. And the truck has been running just fine for the last year or so, but it's been drinking oil like a drunken sailor. And so I knew that eventually it was going to give up, and it finally did. So this gives us the opportunity to rebuild the engine. Alright, so as I've told you, we put about 10,000 miles on the engine before it finally gave up. So now as we rebuild the engine, this is going to be a rather involved project, so I'm going to be handling it a little differently. Now some folks have complained that there's going to be large gaps. It takes a lot of time to do a project like this. And I don't want you to think that, you can't do it because it's so involved. You can, but it is quite involved. So what I'm going to do on this episode is I'm going to mark down how many days, so you'll see how many days it takes to do this project. I expect it will take somewhere around 3 weeks. I'm going to try to get it finished in 3 weeks, but I'll put a day stamp on the screen so that you can follow along. I'll also do segments of the show in time lapse so you can see everything that's being done. Now, I'm not going to be describing everything that's going on while it's going on like I usually do, because there's so many things to do. So in the first part of this project, we're going to disassemble the truck and get it ready to remove the engine. Day 1, we're going to remove all the accessories from the engine and as many things out of the engine compartment as possible. Okay, so we've come to the end of day 1, and we've got most of the accessories and items off of the engine. Now we're going to be ready to start lifting the engine and disconnecting the engine mounts and the transmission. We're on day 3. Day 2, I did not videotape anything because it was all underneath the car. Took out the starter, unhooked the engine mounts and the exhaust and things that you weren't going to see anyway. So we're on day 3 now, and day 3 we're going to start removing the engine from the engine compartment. Alright, so we are ending day 3 with the engine out of the truck. We'll put it on the engine stand, and tomorrow we'll start the rebuild process. So we're going to be rebuilding the engine here now. I wanted to point a couple of things out that I wanted you to see before we tear the engine apart. Now notice that over here on this side, this is the exhaust side of the engine, okay? And you'll notice you see the black soot around this particular exhaust outlet, and there's a little bit on this one as well. Well, as I dug into the truck and started taking it apart, when I took the exhaust manifold off, I noticed that there was no exhaust manifold gasket. There's supposed to be one. So whoever had worked on it before had put it together without the exhaust manifold gasket. So that's probably the reason why we're having so much soot from an exhaust leak at this particular cylinder. We're going to keep our eye out for any other things along the way that were done wrong or parts that are missing, because we've discovered a few things in the past on this one as well. So here we are. It's time to rebuild the engine. I'm going to go ahead and clean it all up and get it ready to tear apart. Now, one of the things I'm going to do on the cleanup is I'm going to take one of these basins that catches things. It's usually used for oil, but I'm going to use it to catch all the grease and dirt that's going to run off of here. Also, I'm going to use a solvent that's more like mineral spirits, or Varsol is what we like to use, but that's what you're going to find in an industrial setting. But you can go down to your local hardware store and get some mineral spirits, and you can use mineral spirits to work very much in the same fashion. I'm also going to use a hand sprayer. I've got it right here, and I'm going to use the sprayer to help soak down the engine, and then I'm going to drop it all into my basin here so that I can discard of it in a proper fashion. You can use other kinds of cleaners as well, but if you go and buy like some spray engine cleaner and then you wash it off with a hose, that's all fine and dandy, but you can't collect it very easily and make sure it gets disposed of with the oils, with used oil. But this way, with the solvent, like a mineral spirits or something of that nature, what you can do is you'll catch it into the basin like I'm doing, and then most of the mineral spirits will evaporate off and you've just got the grease and the dirt and the oil left. And then that can go to the recycle bin. So you can see what a great job this is doing. I'm going to keep cleaning until the engine is completely clean.
Thanks for watching The American Garage. If you like this video, hit the like button and leave your comments below. And don't forget to subscribe.